What's up, guys? Victoria here at popculture.com, joined in studio today by American Idol winner David Cook. David, so great to have you.
Thanks for having me.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. You won during what, season 7?
Season 7,
back in
yeah.
08.
Yeah.
I love Idol, and I have loved you ever since.
Oh, well,
so
thank
I'm
you.
so excited to have you in studio. You have been quite busy these days. What are you up to now?
Actually, just finishing up a little run of shows right now, and then gearing up for the fall. We've got some shows, Chicago, and then we're heading out west and doing a run out there.
Yeah.
But yeah, this has been, it's been like the first part of this year has been a nice little recharge, but last year was nuts. So
Yeah.
it's been nice to kind of get back into the music vein a little bit after doing some Broadway last year.
I was just about to say you made your Broadway
How's that for a
debut.
segue?
Oh my gosh. Did you ever think that that's where you would be?
You know, I grew up, I did some theater like through high school and stuff, and really enjoyed it. Went to college on a theater scholarship, and around the same time the band I was in was starting to pick up, and I had to make a decision. And
Yeah.
I chose the band thing, obviously. So,
Yeah.
but you know, the theater thing was kind of always something I'd held on to, like maybe one day, and yeah, the opportunity came up and just made sense, and I'm so glad I got to do it. It was such a great character, such a great show to be a part of, and yeah, I mean, I'm still friends with a bunch of the cast, so like I feel like I got a lot more than I gave. You know?
Yeah. Needless to say, I mean, would you say that American Idol changed your life?
Oh, without question. Yeah, I mean, I was I was a terrible bartender who played acoustic gigs for rent before Idol, and
Hey, that's where it all starts.
yeah, right.
I mean, that's how all musicians start.
I was known as being the guy who could play 20 seconds of almost any song. I didn't know a lot of entire songs, but I could like fake my way through a chorus.
Yeah.
But it just, yeah, I mean, Idol, I'm getting to do stuff now that like, if you'd asked me at like 25, like, are you gonna be able to do this stuff like in your 30s? I'd be like, no way. Like,
Yeah.
I'm just enjoying it now because I'm gonna go have to get a suit and tie job someday.
What do you think about the revamp? Because it's changed. Since
It's
you've been on
different
there.
for sure. Yeah. I think for me, you know, I think as somebody who benefited from it and went through it, my hope for the show has always been like, as long as it can continue to be a platform for the contestants, then I'm game. I'm all in. I think you always kind of toe that line between like, is it about the contestants or is it about the judges panel? And
Yeah.
you know, I think it's hard to argue. Like when Idol was at its best, it was a platform to really, as a viewer, to invest in these contestants and follow them through their careers. So yeah, I think as long as that's the platform, like I'm in.
Yeah. What do you think of the new judges?
I think
Because there's no more Simon. I mean, there's no one there to like beat someone down.
The
on
OGs
stage.
are gone. I was really pleasantly surprised with this panel. I was, you know, kind of on the fence at the start, but I think they seem genuinely interested in like helping these contestants out, which is a big part of it.
They touched on a little bit of every genre too. You've got like old school classic with Lionel Richie, and then you've got like new age pop with Katie, and then you've got your country. I mean, like you always need a country guy in there.
Of course.
Right?
Somebody from Nashville. You always have to be in there. Yeah.
Hey, Nashville's the it city now.
I'm telling you. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. You can tell by the traffic.
Oh my gosh, it's a nightmare. It is a nightmare out here. So, okay, question.
Yeah.
In your best efforts, can you tell us, is Ryan Seacrest going to come back?
I think he will.
Yeah.
I don't. Listen, the guy doesn't need sleep. It's the weirdest thing. Like, the guy works. Even when I was on the show, it was like 20 hours a day.
Yeah.
Like, he's just one of those people that doesn't need a whole lot of sleep, and as long as he enjoys the work, yeah, I see him coming back for sure. He's quintessentially that show anymore. You know what I mean? Like that show, Idol without Ryan Seacrest, I think would be weird.
It really would.
Yeah.
And I think that there's like a sense of home feeling for him, that like this is kind of where it all started for me.
Sure.
You know?
But I don't know, like, it'd be interesting to see how he navigates it, because Kelly and Ryan shoots in New York.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're kind of like, he's got a big contract right now with ABC. So is he going to come back to Idol? How is he going to balance that
Frequent
schedule?
flyer miles, man.
I don't know how he does it between him and Michael Strahan. Oh my gosh. I don't know how those guys do it. So new music.
Yeah.
Okay. You've got new music out, Death of Me. Let's talk about that song.
So I'd come off of, I'd gotten done with my last run of Kinky Boots, and was getting ready to go out on an acoustic run, and my distributor Ingrooves and I had kind of discussed maybe packaging something with that tour musically, and that song was written, recorded, and finished all within like 72 hours, which is really, really quick. But I love the energy that track has as a result. I feel like there's some humanity in it that like sometimes if you overwork in a studio, you can kind of beat some of the humanity out of these recordings. So. Yeah, the song itself, I've always kind of had this imagery about that song in my head about the Haunted Mansion ride at Disney World. Oh my God. I know, it's so weird, but like the scene where all the ghost couples are dancing in the ballroom.
Yeah.
That's kind of the plot synopsis visual for me.
I was gonna say this song is it's almost like there's a little bit of grunge and a little bit of grid to it, but it's also mellow at the same time, I feel like.
Yeah, and that was a little bit by design. You know, I certainly grew up on grunge and 90s alternative, and I mean that's how I learned to play guitar.
Yeah.
That's how I learned to write songs. And
who was your favorite band, 90s band, alternative band? Which one to pick?
I was always partial to Soundgarden.
Okay.
Like Bad Motorfinger, and I like some of the early Pearl Jam stuff.
Oh yeah.
And I really liked Smashing Pumpkins a lot.
Yes, we're big on nostalgia in this office, so
Yeah.
I'm just curious to know. Whenever anyone says that they like 90s alternative music, I'm like, who?
Well, and I'm one of the I don't know if I'm like the majority or the minority on this, but like I'm one of those people like I never really I appreciate and respect Nirvana, but I never super got into Nirvana. Sure. And I don't know if it was just because everybody else was into Nirvana, and I was like, well, then I can't.
It was like the fad.
Yeah,
You're like, I'm not going to go with the trend.
Yeah.
So we touched on a little bit of this at the beginning of the interview, but what is next for you? I mean, what are you doing now? What do you anticipate on doing in the future? What you got going on?
I'm actually currently writing for a new I think an EP. I think is what it's going to end up being.
Yeah.
So I've got a few songs in the can that I'm really excited about, and then as we continue to write, it'll be that game of top it. Like I've got these songs. Can I write better than that? And and eventually I'll have to stop and put them out. But so yeah, just really just in studio mode right now.
Yeah.
So which is exciting. It's one of my favorite things about this gig.
Any more on Broadway?
I hope so. Yeah, I kind of missed out on some auditions last year. I got done with Kinky Boots, and then 2 weeks before an acoustic tour, I broke my hand.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so I was kind of unable to do a lot of auditioning.
Did you break your hand on stage?
I wish I had a story that cool.
Oh, is it not a cool story?
I was letting our dogs out, and I got caught up in the leash, and gravity won. Yeah.
I won't judge.
Please don't.
I won't judge. He's like, I wish I had a cool story.
Yeah, no. I need to come up with one.
Yeah, just come up with a fun one,
Yeah.
and then like by the end of it, be like, no, I'm just kidding. I'm just
There you
caught up in
go.
the leash.
There you go.
You know.
Yeah.
Well, cool. Well, best of luck to you. It's
Thank
such
you.
a pleasure having you. I'm so glad that you're still going. I really
Yeah.
love to follow the people from Idol and from all of those singing shows. You know what I mean? That just like move right on up and do great things.
It's.
Do you still keep in touch with anyone?
Yeah, actually, I just talked to David Archuleta yesterday.
Wow.
Yeah, we're talking about there's this trampoline place in Hendersonville. We're talking about maybe
Yes.
hitting up, so we'll see.
You got to. Please take pictures and share on social media.
I'm sure I will. Yeah, unless I fall and then.
Well, then you'd have
sure.
a cool story if you broke a bone. Then
Oh God.
that'd be. I'm just kidding.
All of a sudden,
I don't want to wish
maybe
that
we'll
on
just
you.
do lunch, him and I then. Yeah.
Well, David, it was a pleasure having you in studio.
Thanks so much.
For more on David Cook and your other favorite artists, please hit up popculture.com.